Okay, good morning. Get the window taken care of here. Get it up. Bear with me. We're gonna get the window up. We've got a good stream for you this morning. We're gonna cover several zip codes in Lee County. We're really gonna focus on Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Estero. That's kind of what we've been focused on recently. So that's going to be, we're going to cover 33991, 33990, 33914, 33904, 33919, 33908, and 33928. And that sort of follows, like if you look at a map, that sort of follows like South Cape Coral, across the bridge into Fort Myers, on like in some of that McGregor corridor on the south side of the south and north side of the Cape Coral Bridge, and then 33908, which covers kind of Iona, and then sort of down like Summerlin Road, Gladiolus, some of that, and then kind of working our way down into Estero with 33928. Okay, let's see. Get the website pulled up. All right, and so we're really going to be focused this morning. We're going to be focused on value purchases. So what do I mean by that? I don't mean houses that are cheap, but we're talking about the best value buys, right? So through those areas that I mentioned, what are going to be the best value? What's going to be the best value? We're going to sort of go through each of these zip codes and just kind of look at the prices, right? So we're going to have, I think we're going to cover 3 properties total. So I was kind of looking before I got the stream started at some of the homes that have come up, and we're really just looking at the last 7 days. We want to talk about why price per square foot matters more than just list price. We want to talk about days on market, because that's huge in terms of leverage, right? We want to talk about sales price, list price. We want to talk about just talk about pricing and why it matters to price accurately, and some of the good value. Okay. I'm a little disoriented. I need to switch these screens around. This isn't normally how I have the screens configured. So let's see. Okay, that's a little better. All right. So let's talk about Estero. Estero 33928. That's gonna be that's gonna be our upper sort of end market here that we're gonna talk about this morning. Um, on the higher end of that market, you can expect nearly $300 a square foot. I mean, obviously, there's some that are above that, but that's just sort of what you can expect is closer to $300 a square foot. Estero is a hot area. It's convenient. It's closer to Naples, so you can be in Naples relatively quickly. You can also be in. It's kind of in between Naples and Fort Myers, so you can be in either place relatively quickly, and those are areas that have restaurants and shopping. So yeah, so it's a desirable area. There's a lot of lifestyle communities in Estero. Um, these are gated communities where there's a really nice pool. There's a nice fitness center, um, a nice community center kind of building. A lot of them have their own restaurants and bars, and so you can expect to find more of that in Estero. You've got the outlet mall, you've got lots of restaurants and different options. So that's what we sort of expect there. Now, when we look at 33908, which is, we could kind of call that South Fort Myers. Like I said, that's going to be Iona, FGCU. You're gonna have several neighborhoods there that are going to be desirable neighborhoods, and you're going to be around $260 a square foot there, and a little bit longer on your days on market, right? So that market is a little bit slower, um, but there's still good value there. And then we talk about the Cape Coral markets, Southwest Cape Coral. Like I mentioned, we're going to cover 33914. And, there's going to be a lot of newer homes there. You can kind of see the succession, right, from Southeast Cape Yacht Club area, and just sort of how the houses progress from the 1960s, the early 1960s, and progress from east to west in terms of what year they were built, right? So as you get further west, they get newer and newer. And so by the time you get into that southwest corridor of Cape Coral, you've got a lot more modern homes, a lot of pool homes, lots of homes that are on the canal. And you're going to be, I think like 277, 275 is what we're looking at in terms of square footage in that area. Southeast Cape Coral, I mentioned Yacht Club. So you're gonna have some newer properties there because they are tearing some houses down, those 60s houses. But you can expect to see homes in there around $260 a square foot, similar to that South Fort Myers market. It is dependent. I mean, if you're on a wider canal, if it's obviously a 4,000 square foot house on a wide canal, that's not going to be the case. But you have to, when you look, especially if you're averaging it out, there are a lot of homes there that were built in like the 60s, right? So, okay, let's get into the houses. I'm just rambling at this point. Um, so the best overall value, I want to pull up this listing. Okay, this is 713 Southeast 35th Street. Okay, this listing is brought to you, listing courtesy of Realty One Group MVP. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, almost 1,500 square foot house. Okay, let's look at some of the details on this one. It's listed at $285, built in 1988. Again, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, just under 1,500 square feet. And we've got some updates, right? You can see the flooring. This is sort of a stereotypical, 80s kind of build, just with how they've done these kind of sweeping walls, off the entrance. You've got the arched entrance, the arched windows there. 2-car garage, concrete driveway. So this is not a pool home, and it looks to be a shingle roof. You have a screened-in lanai off the back and a decent-sized yard. Again, inside we see, looks like they've updated the flooring. So there's one of the bathrooms. Okay, kitchen opens up to the living room. They've done some updating in the kitchen, of course, stainless steel appliances. And it looked like the cabinets, were those shaker style cabinets? Yeah. So they've done some updating. It could just be that they put new faces on. They may have put all new cabinetry in. We'll look here in just a second to see if they've noted any of that. Okay, this bathroom definitely has been updated, at least more so than the other bathroom. You have a walk-in shower that's gonna, no glass door there. We need to have a curtain, but you can see that obviously this vanity is new, and they've put in this like waterfall sink kind of thing. Okay, here's the lanai in the backyard. Okay, so again, why is this a value buy? The interior condition is livable for the most part. This might be a good value buy for an investor, somebody that wants to rent it out. And if we look through this description, I just wanted to see, they don't have any. They do specify that it's not located in a flood zone, so that's good. So anyway, and they even mention in here about investors. It could be a good value play for an investor. Again, it's listed at $285,000. So if we look at this is a feature on the website that I really like. I mean, let's just say that it's an investor or someone who wants to put 20% down. Let's say the interest rate comes in at 7% on a 30-year. So you can kind of see, you kind of get an idea. Let's see, that's got principal interest. It's got property taxes. Property tax might change. I don't know what it sold for last. I'd have to go back and look. But that could be the case. So again, this is Southeast Cape. All right, so you're not far from the old country club, which is essentially now just a green space that you can walk around. This is Del Prado here. Del Prado is going to have, a lot of, you can see like the little commercial buildings. It's got a lot of restaurants and things there. And then this is the downtown area. So, I mean, this is not very far from the downtown area, literally 5 minutes to get to the downtown area. This is where all your bars and restaurants and stuff. This is Southeast 47th Terrace. So everybody just kind of walks along this stretch here, and all of these buildings are restaurants and bars, and there's some shopping and stuff like, oops. This is Cape Coral Parkway. So there's some shopping and stuff off of there in some of these buildings, but most of it's restaurants. There's like jewelry stores and some other boutique kind of stores. Okay, let's go to the next one. So this is going to be more of an investor buy. Okay. Let's see. This is again Southeast Cape Coral. I mean, Cape Coral is just in terms of purchase price. Cape Coral really is sort of the best value in Lee County. Okay, this listing is courtesy of Keller Williams Elite Realty. And this is 2219 Southeast 8th Street in Cape Coral. It's in the 33990 zip code. And that's going to be south. Well, you can tell by the address, right? So it's Southeast Cape, but this is the not the southernmost zip code, right? So this zip code includes that like Everest area, the ecological park. Kind of get the idea there. Anyway, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, almost 1,700 square feet, which is a good size for a 3-bedroom home. Let's go through the description here and just see if we have any specific. Okay, so new roof in 2022, energy efficient additions, solar panels, hybrid solar water heater. Electric costs they're claiming are around $25 a month. Fruit trees. And we've got some custom storage and utility sink in the garage. All right, let's take a look. Let me show you this on the map first. Maybe. Oh, that's not coming up there. No problem. So there's 4 Mile Cove, the Eco Preserve. Like I said, this is Del Prado here. So you kind of get an idea of where this home is located. Okay, gotta keep that in mind. All right, listed at $290,000, which for the square footage is below market value. You're about $175 a square foot, and the median here on closed sales is $225 a square foot. So you're a little over 20% below market. Tile flooring. Kitchen looks like it's been updated. Screened-in lanai. 2-car garage. Shingle roof with the solar panels. Something to keep in mind. So you've got a formal dining room, a formal sort of sitting area. Okay. So it looks like vaulted ceilings in the living room. And you've got the living room just off of the kitchen. This appears to be the primary. I say that because it's got access to the lanai, and I'm assuming that's a closet. You've got a vanity here, walk-in shower. This is one of the secondary bedrooms, a secondary bathroom. Cabana bath. Well, I guess, can you call it a cabana bath if there's no pool? This is a pedestrian door, probably out to the lanai. Yeah, this door right here. So anyway, I guess it's not technically a cabana bath because there's no pool. Yeah, based on the price per square foot and the market and the location, uh, and the overall purchase price, it's not. I think that this house is sort of ready to go. It's sort of plug and play. You furnish it. It could be a great, or not furnish it, but you clean it up, and I think it could be a great long-term rental for someone. And under $300,000. All right, so we're gonna change course here. We're gonna go to a higher price range. We're gonna look at Estero, higher price range, and we're trying to find a good value buy in a higher price range. $19828 Beach Crest Place in Estero. This listing is courtesy of Cell State Max Performance. Okay. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2,600 square feet. Purchase price $599,900. So you're right at $600,000. Let's check out the location. So I just want to point this out. This is the place, right? Is the name of this development. And like I mentioned earlier, with these Estero developments, this is gated. And you've got tennis courts, pickleball, you've got a resort style pool with a lake view and the sort of community center kind of buildings, amenities buildings, bocce ball. So this is one of those developments that I was talking about in the beginning. And it's kind of, this is like, if you want to kind of be out and away from the hustle and bustle, you're about 10 minutes from the outlet malls here. So you're far away, but you're not, right? So you get out here and just look at how wide open it is. It's like very sort of rural. And this is a quarry. This is Wild Blue. This is Corkscrew Shores development. Yeah. So anyway, so you're kind of out, but it's not a bad location. There's actually a Publix. This is Verdana Village, and they have a Publix right here. There's a Publix. I think there's a Dunkin' there. There's an Italian restaurant there. So you look. You're right down the street from a Publix here, but then you go over to where the outlet malls are. There's another Publix down here. There's obviously tons of shopping, restaurants. So it's really, in my opinion, it's a good location. It's kind of out there, but it's still a good location. Oh, okay. So let's look at the pictures. 599.9, 2 stories, paver driveway. This is going to be a newer house. Let's look and see what the year it was built. 2020. So you've got like green space view off the back. No pool. Really needs a pool. There's plenty of room for a pool. A pool would be, if it had a pool and was priced the way it is, it would be a really great deal. But it's priced the way it is because there is no pool. Ceramic flooring, granite countertops, everything white, stainless steel. That's your den office space. Here's the upstairs. So you have like an additional living area upstairs, right at the top of the stairs. This appears to be one of the bedrooms upstairs. Laundry room, additional bath, another secondary bedroom. Oh, this looks like, oh, this could be the primary. So you can see, I see a closet there. I see a big tub here. Yeah, double sink vanity. That's my assumption, is that this is the primary. Oh, was that a closet? No. Okay, let's check out this floor plan. What do we have going on here? Stairs. Primary bedroom, primary bath, primary closet, which is 10 foot by 4 foot. And this is the first floor. So there's the den, living area, kitchen, and you sort of have a guest suite here. It's not a suite, but it has a closet, your utility room. So you still have to exit the bedroom to get to the bathroom. So it's not a guest suite, but it's a guest bedroom. One of the cool things about this specific development is this resort style pool. You've got a water slide and these waterfalls, waterfall features, fire pit that extends out into the pool. It's really nice. It's fitness center. So, I think that the idea here, it's got its own bar. The idea here is that, you get a 2020 2,600 square foot house, less than $600,000. You've got green space view off the back. It's relatively private. It's in a gated neighborhood. Sidewalks all through the neighborhood, right? You can see the sidewalks. Yeah. So it's a good value buy because you're in Estero, which is a desirable city to be in. You're in a desirable neighborhood. It's a gated neighborhood, lots of sidewalks, newer homes, great amenities. And that's where we sort of draw the value there. So you kind of see where the value is. I didn't have a lot of time to get. I'm really trying to keep these at like 20 minutes. We're at 30 minutes now. So I will. I'll do a little bit more prep next week, and but you kind of get an idea of the value plays here. I mean, Cape Coral, you're going to be able to find houses that are under $300,000. Definitely find stuff under $400,000. I mean, you can even find houses with pools for under $400,000. They're going to be a little bit older. They're going to be a little bit smaller. You move into an area like Estero, if you're looking for a gated community with amenities, then there's a lot of plays in Estero. Purchase price obviously is going to change. As you can see, you can get a house for under $600,000, 2 stories, almost 3,000 square foot, with no pool, but still a nice screen to lanai. You know, you get the gist. So I'm gonna be back next week. We'll talk about some other value buys. We'll kind of continue on with the value and showing some listings that I think are good deals in Southwest Florida. So thank you if you joined in. I hope that the information was good and valuable. If you have any questions, you can always call or text me. All of my information is on my profile. My cell phone number is 239-990-7738. Thank you so much. Enjoy the weekend, enjoy the day, and I will see you all next week.